Hello, Geneva. I'm Mayor Kevin Burns, and I'm proud to be with you this afternoon, live from Riverbank Laboratories in beautiful downtown Geneva, with my friend, the owner, Mr. Bob Swanson.
Hi.
Now, Bob, well said, by the way. If you're not familiar with Riverbank Laboratories, in essence, this is a little place in Geneva that manufactures tuning forks for the music industry, for the health industry, for manufacturing purposes, and for, quite frankly, all sorts of industries that need precise tuning instruments to make certain their equipment, their products are made to the highest quality. Bob Swanson, you're the tuning fork expert.
I guess you could say that.
Absolutely. Well, I'm going to say it, so you have to agree.
All right, I agree.
And I've been presented with this beautiful red tuning fork. In fact, anytime we test this, we know that Geneva is perfect.
That's right.
Correct? Now, you gave me a tour a little earlier, and it's fascinating what happens behind these walls. But what a lot of people don't know is the history of Riverbank Laboratories. Would you mind just sharing with us the little bit of that history?
Sure. Colonel Fabian started Riverbank Laboratories, I believe, in 1913, and he wanted to study acoustics. Some question came up with his wife at some point about bells, whether the bells of England were more pure than the bells of America. So in order to test the bells, he wanted something that had pure sound. So someone said, well, you need a tuning fork. So he said, well, the way to get a tuning fork is to actually make it. So he brought in experts and created a facility to make tuning forks. And that's how we got our start in 1918.
Unbelievable.
After that, they started making tuning forks for other applications. And in the 1970s, we added a medical tuning fork product line, and that's basically what we're selling today.
That's amazing. So here in Geneva, Illinois, this is, for all practical purposes, the tuning fork capital, I like to say, of the world.
Yes.
Is that a fair assessment?
There's another tuning fork manufacturer in Illinois who started with us, and then in the 1990s started a new company, and I believe they're out in Western Illinois. But,
no kidding.
So Illinois is certainly the tuning fork capital of the world.
Isn't that something? We need to redo our street signs. Welcome to Geneva, the tuning fork capital of the world.
There you go.
Now we're standing in an old warehouse.
Yes.
And this warehouse has seen changes over the years. You and I remember it fondly as Ryan Automotive.
That's right.
And then it was a car repair place, but now it's home to Riverbank Laboratories.
That's right.
But inside this building are extraordinary pieces, I believe, of history. Would you care to show us a little bit about that?
Sure.
Please.
This display case, I believe, belonged to Colonel Fabian. When we bought Riverbank Laboratories, it was inside the conference room, and it had a lot of the old tuning forks that were manufactured over the years. I'm currently trying to set it back up. I'm not quite there
yet.
But
looks great.
We're putting in the old archives.
That's amazing. So that's an original piece owned by Colonel Fabian, and now it's yours.
That's right.
Wow.
That's right. It came with the company.
And you've organized it beautifully.
It needs a little work, but we're getting there.
It looks great. It looks awesome. Now, how long have you owned Riverbank Labs?
My wife and I bought the company in 1999.
Wow. So, and of course, your wife is Mary.
That's right.
Who refuses to be on camera because she's actually running the business.
That's right. Someone has to do work.
You're just kind of like the face of the business.
That's right.
It's kind of like Wendy's Burgers.
That's right.
Yeah, you're like Dave.
Right.
Dave Thomas. Okay, got it. Now back here is where the tuning forks are actually manufactured.
That's right.
It's noisy.
Yes.
It's messy.
Yes.
But we have to go, right?
Sure.
Awesome.
All right.
Follow us. Got it.
This is where the tuning forks are made. Tuning fork starts out as a 12-foot bar of aluminum, which we then cut, drill, saw, mill, turn, stamp, sand, tune, and it's done.
So it sounds like you've done this before.
And this is 1,000 times.
One of many other products that are produced.
That's right.
It's amazing. And we're actually in the throes of some being manufactured, being cut, being shaved, being smooth, being tuned, all that right now.
That's right.
So, and I understand you make about, or sell about 2,000 a day.
That's right.
And you sell primarily to the medical industry.
Right.
And you have customers all over the world.
Our exports have gone crazy.
That's amazing.
Germany and Japan are buying more tuning forks than you'd believe.
Did you hear that? From 8th Street in Geneva to Germany, Japan, and around the globe, the tuning forks from Geneva. So exports are booming.
Yes, they are.
Riverbank Laboratories is known throughout the world. So not only does Geneva pride itself on those who visit, but we also pride ourselves on what we manufacture and ship around the globe. Can we go take a look at how these are actually made?
Sure.
Great.
Over here,
And that is cool.
they probably can't hear me back here. So,
See, that's the rough cut, isn't
yes, that's what he's doing right here.
it? Okay.
So he is taking that.
Now, if I was to rub my hand against there, would it cut it?
If you did it hard enough.
Okay.
One of the other steps I didn't mention is we deburr every fork. The
You do?
Chinese and Pakistani forks are not deburred, so they have a lot of sharp edges.
Really?
We spend that time. It's a very manual process.
That's amazing.
Program good, Omar?
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you, Omar. Thank you. That is fascinating. Now, something worth noting, these boxes here where the tuning forks are stored are boxes from the Colonel Fabian estate. So these are 75, 80 years old,
Some of them, yeah.
and they're holding up pretty well.
They take a lot of tape and a lot of
They do.
repair. But,
And the reason why we use wood is because wood doesn't scratch the final product.
that's right.
Great. What you do with the excess is cool.
Okay. Well, we actually have two. We have solids and we have the shavings. The
Yeah, whatever you
solids
think.
would be the middle, which is over here.
Okay.
And I'll show you that. And that would just be the middle part. If you go and
Oh, just
look
the
in
way you
there,
cut out.
That's what he cuts out. That's worth 40, 50 cents a pound more than the shavings and turnings. So that's why we segregate it.
But you don't recycle it and use it yourself.
No, we sell it.
You sell it out.
We sell it. We cannot turn this back into a bar.
You cannot.
You'd have to have a 3,000
Degree
degree,
oven and smelt it and everything.
Exactly.
Oh
and
my
then
goodness.
Put it through an extrusion, and we don't have that capability.
Yeah. Oh my God.
And I
that's
bet
wild.
you'd complain when you saw plumes.
all sorts of stuff coming, like electing a new pole.
That's right. That's right. Nor would your electric department like that.
Yeah, I can imagine. Yeah, I can imagine. Now, my friend over here is actually cutting the 12-foot bars you receive,
That's right.
and these 12-foot bars are manufactured exclusively by Alcoa, because only they can make the bars in the material you need.
The alloy we use is only made by Alcoa.
That's it.
That's right.
And when you ship around the world, you told me an interesting story earlier that you had a customer that was purchasing from the Chinese.
Right.
Because they could purchase cheaper.
Right.
The Chinese made it cheaper. But you, being an international businessman, said, check the quality of those tuning forks.
That's right. Actually, we did it ourselves.
You did.
We had them send it to us, and we had analysis done on the forks, ours and theirs. And their fork from China had a high lead content.
And that high lead content makes more impure the final product.
Well, that and for alternative medicine, you don't want to be sending lead
That's
into
true.
people. So
Wow.
that excluded that tuning fork completely, and they only buy from us now.
Unbelievable. So because of your independent analysis,
Yes,
you now have a customer for life.
that's right.
And speaking for life, once this is manufactured, this is good for life.
That's right.
So I will have this in my office at City Hall or my home forever.
That's right. It will never go out of tune.
It'll never go out of tune, unlike me,
That's
Yeah.
right.
depending on the issue.
That's right. That's right.
That is fascinating. And it comes in a variety of colors.
That's right.
It can. And these are anodized in Chicago.
That's right.
So you ship them out,
Yep.
they color them, they bring them back,
Right. And then we test the tuning again just to make sure.
just to make sure. And what's really cool is when these are shipped all around the world, Riverbank Laboratories, Geneva, Illinois is stamped right here.
On some of them.
On some
Not
of
all.
them. Not all. Why is not all?
Some customers want their own name.
They do.
That's right.
That is awesome. That's pretty cool. From downtown Geneva to all around the world, a pitch perfect product from beautiful Geneva, Illinois. Mr. Swanson, thank you
Thank you.
very, very much.
Very good.
Appreciate it. Thanks. Now, Bob, you are a very niche industry,
Yes.
very niche. But of course, you service the globe, particularly the medical industry.
Right.
What do you want the folks in Geneva to know about you that perhaps they don't know?
I want the people of Geneva to know that we are a historical Geneva company that have been here for almost 100 years.
Right.
And staying in Geneva is important. I feel we have a partnership
Indeed we
with
do.
Geneva. We have roots in Geneva, and I want people in Geneva just to know what we do. And when they drive by and see Riverbank, instead of saying, what do they do? Say, oh, those are the guys that make tuning forks. That's.
Have you ever thought of offering field trips to some?
We do
that? You do? Okay, cool.
In fact, Mary, we have 3 children that have been through the Geneva school
that's
system.
awesome.
And I think toward the end of their grade school career, they were starting to get tired of the tuning fork demonstrations that were an annual event at Western Avenue School. But we have had field trips come through.
Okay.
We just had Grace Lutheran Church brought their 5th graders through.
Oh, that's cool.
And teach them a little bit about tuning forks.
Now, what's fascinating to me is you're not a science guy.
No, I'm not.
You graduated with an accounting degree.
That's right.
So you went the accounting route and got really bored? Or thought, you know what, I just love manufacturing, I want to do something in manufacturing?
I worked for an auditing company. And
well, that is boring.
And I audited manufacturing companies.
You did?
I did. And they were small manufacturing companies, and I thought, this is a lot more exciting than looking at the numbers.
Did you audit this company?
I did not.
You did not? Okay.
I did not.
Wow.
The funny story is we were looking for a company to buy, as we were tired of the rat race and working for big corporations. And there was an ad in the Sunday Tribune. And the ad said, manufacturing company for sale, profitable. And that's all it said.
That's all you need to know.
It was a complete blind ad. We answered the ad and came in on a Saturday and said, we'll take a tour of the company. That was back when we were on Batavia Avenue.
Sure.
We had an hour-long tour, and the owner of the company, this is in 1999, said, I have news for you. I have 3 offers on the table, and I'm deciding on Monday who to sell it to. So Mary and I went home, and we did a quick and dirty offer, mailed it to him or faxed it to him on Sunday, and on Monday he called us and said, the company's yours.
No kidding.
And that's how we ended up with the company.
Unbelievable. Now, is Mary's talents in the accounting world as well?
It is.
So you have 2 auditors who now make tune forks.
We have the accounting side down pat.
Unbelievable. That's fascinating.
No.
And you never thought about changing the name?
No.
It's always going to be Riverbank Laboratories.
Yes.
And the name because of founded on the banks of the Fox River, I presume.
That's right.
Exactly. So,
And we're still close to the river.
oh, you're very close
And
to
it
the
has a
river.
better ring than Bob's tuning forks.
A better ring, no pun intended.
That's
Yeah, well
exactly
done.
right.
Well done. And he's a funny guy, too.
I like the sound of that.
I like the sound of that. We're tuning in live from Riverbank Laboratories. Well, it's fascinating.
Very good.
Fascinating. Thanks for being a good neighbor and much success.
Thank you.
And we look forward to seeing these all over the world, knowing full well they came from beautiful downtown Geneva, courtesy of Bob and Mary Swanson.
That's right.
Excellent.
Thank you.
Thank you, Geneva. That is fascinating, isn't it?